Move your ass out of the way, Tyler.
Tyler's massive belly blocking all the light.
What do you have to say about that?
You're a whale. We've got a full day of eating planned today. It's been exactly 1 year, just over 1 year since I started the bulk. So my diet has changed pretty significantly, even since like the last full day of eating we did. And I put on about like 40 pounds in total, going from like 138 to close to 175 now that I'm climbing back up. I didn't eat this morning because I was like, let's film this video, and those guys always get up way later than I do. So normally I eat my first meal around like 4 or 5 a.m. But right now it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we're about to go to the gym. So I figured it's better to get something that's quicker digesting. So I'm just gonna do a quick shake here. It's gonna be 85 grams of carbs from the cluster direction. So it's about 3 scoops of this carb powder, a scoop of CHIMERA pump, which is a glycerol powder. You guys know how much I love glycerol. Literally since the first full day of eating video that I ever did on this channel, I think I've touted the benefits of glycerol powder for getting a nasty pump, which you'll see later in this video. Creatine monohydrate, 5 grams of this per day. 85 grams carbs, 25 grams of protein from whey. And then after the workout, you guys are gonna see the post-workout nutrition, which is more carbs than I had in the entirety of my life before I stopped doing carnivore. Moist. Tyler, what are you doing? What? That's Tyler's response to everything whenever we ask him any question at all. What?
I'm not the one that lacks brain cells.
The first time I came out, well, I mean, I guess I didn't literally come out, but the first time I said I was eating carbs, it was like me coming out of the closet. Everybody like threw a party. Everybody said, congratulations, Tristyn.
You go, girl.
You go, girl.
No, wait, no, it's not right.
A little bit more to the right.
For like 4 for 1, that's pretty good. That's an ancient Chinese transcript right there. Last time we were here, Ty's like, I love this gym. You know, it's got a real tetanus vibe. I'm like, yeah.
I'm just here for the vibe.
Pretty much all the gyms we go to, like the other gym, Boxer, they always have one set of dumbbell where you just have no clue what the weight is. It said on one side of the dumbbell it says 85, and then the other side of the dumbbell it says 80. So
Keep guessing. Muscle confusion.
yeah, it's muscle confusion. And like this, that's so annoying.
What about the ones at the home gym where they're like, it's like the bar sticking
Yeah, it's
out?
literally a straight bar.
You need that risk, you need that fear, you need that feeling that like you might impale yourself and you might get an infection.
It's very odd that Tyler is a bodybuilder, but he has the rest times of a powerlifter.
I know, right?
Well, you have the body of a whale. So weird.
You just went fully cross-eyed, just like, oh.
You look lonely. I can fix that.
It's kind of gold vibe with all the photos on the wall. One of Hunter's sick as well.
You can't see your eyes, it's just like this black bead. Even when they're wide open, you can't see them.
This is wide open.
It's always like a constant battle in a videographer's head of like whether you should save you and get the like,
Yeah.
like
Or just let me
save
die.
you, or just let you die and get the video, you know?
Even if they die, right? And they didn't get the rep or the PR or whatever it is, at least you got the clip.
Stay hydrated, kids.
Reverse osmosis.
I don't know if you got more water in the bottle or on the outside of the bottle.
I'm built different.
One that's only 202 Olympia.
There's like 12 giant killers. There's Sean Clarita. They call Lee Priest giant killers as well, right? Danny Padilla, or Padilla, if you're Italian. 411, right? Yeah, that's the build I'm trying to go for.
I could have got 3 more if my headphones didn't fall off.
I could have got 3 more if my hair didn't get knocked off.
Yo, if it wasn't so close to the solar eclipse, I would have gotten 5 more reps.
Oh, if it wasn't for the fucking eclipse. There's an eclipse.
He's just like, shh, quiet, quiet now. You measure Tyler's arms compared to mine? Kind of unfair though. Tyler has literal balls in his biceps.
He also has literal balls on his face all the time.
I got testosterone coming from everywhere.
Testosterone coming in everywhere.
None of this will probably make it.
Why you it like that? Why like this? Not every movement's a hip thrust. Okay, quick. Flex. Just flex your bicep normally. What's so difficult? Raise your elbow. 17.2. So I wonder like how big Sean Clarita's arms are. He's like 5'2", right? But he's like 2-time 212 Mr. Olympia, so.
Okay, measure. How?
16, what? 7? No, wait, no, that's not right.
A little bit more to the right.
16.75.
It's probably like 16 flaccid. 16.75
millimeters.
For like 4'1", that's pretty good.
Are you man spreading right now?
I'm glute spreading right now.
Oh god.
You guys have asked time and time again what a glute spread. For those innocent people who don't know what a glute spread is, the official definition is for one to take their hands.
Okay, pause. For one to take their hands in between their gluteus maximus and pull their cheeks apart. Typically done on bodybuilding stages. Tristyn Lee is the one who formulated this posing routine. So, according to the internet, I formulated the glute spread. And okay, let's get to the meal. Okay. So, wow, you got the cinematics there, Brayden.
Whoa. Whip transition.
Tristyn, put some paprika in that bitch.
Looks so appealing.
Meal number 2, which is technically meal number 1, my first real meal of the day. 100 grams of cucumber, 75 to 100 grams of mushrooms. I don't really measure it because it's so low calorie. So 4 ounces of steak and then 180 grams dry weight of jasmine rice. I try to have less fibrous foods around my workout just because I want the carbs to actually get into my system faster. Fiber obviously slows that down the same way that fat does. So leaner meal, less fiber around my workout, and then later on in the day I'll have more fiber. And later on in the day, I'll put all my other healthy fats into my diet, so you guys will see that. So this is meal number 2. I hate filming myself eat, so Brayden will get me taking 1 bite. You know the rules. Just throw it on the plate. Meal number 3, which is my afternoon meal. My meals are more condensed today, just because I eat my first meal so much later, because these guys wake up at like so late. Like, how can you wake up at 7 a.m. so late? It's ridiculous. Because I had higher glycemic carbs, it's only been, I guess, like an hour and a half between my last meal and this meal, so I'm able to eat more frequently. So that's a little trick. If you're trying to get more food down on the bulk, then try having higher glycemic foods, especially around your workout. The nutrient partitioning is super high, so you do want to actually shuttle the carbohydrates into the muscle, and then you can actually eat more meals more frequently because you're just gonna be hungrier faster. So exact opposite is when you're dieting, essentially. Sweet potatoes are a more nutrient dense carb, so if you're dieting and you're more concerned about getting actual like nutrients in from the foods, I wouldn't suggest having rice as frequently because it's essentially just sugars, just carbs. But if you are trying to have some of the vitamins and micronutrients, sweet potato is a good option. It also does have a little bit more fiber, so it'll slow down the digestion of the carbohydrates itself if you're trying to maintain more level blood sugar levels throughout your day. So if you work a normal job and you don't want to be crashing, then maybe try something that's a little bit lower glycemic and has a little bit more fiber, so it actually does slow down the digestion. So I'm gonna have 2 ounces of smoked salmon. This is higher fat again, and then I'm gonna mix that with 2 ounces of beef liver. Generally, you'll have 4 ounces of protein per meal. Beef liver is extremely lean, but it's extremely nutrient dense. It's probably one of the most nutrient dense foods in the world. And no, you don't need to shove 6 pounds of liver down your gullet every single day. You probably have like 2 ounces a week and you'll be set with all the micronutrients that you need as far as vitamin A, folate, all these different things that you're probably lacking if you're not having any sort of red meat or if you're not having a lot of red meat. So have like 2 ounces this week and you're pretty much set. I can feel the EMFs in my brain. Just throw it on the plate. Meal number 3, liver, salmon, 3 things of sweet potato, white rice, jasmine rice, and then cucumber. This is a higher fat meal. Like I said, I'll put my fats further away from my workout because I still do want to make sure that I'm getting enough fats to support healthy hormonal function and all that stuff. Like a lot of people, when they're increasing their foods, they're like, oh, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But obviously food quality still does matter, even if you are bulking. And kind of the mindset that I've always had is that no matter how much my food increases, I don't see any negative effect to just having higher quality of foods, even if I'm just having more of them. So people ask me since I started dieting, which was really when I was like 13 years old, I started doing a ketogenic diet. If I have cheat meals, why I don't have cheat meals. You know, maybe for some people, getting enough food in when it's just protein and fats is very difficult, so adding in some sort of palatable food can be helpful. But for me, I've always found that I wanted to add from things that I can actually account for. So as I've gone through this phase of increasing my food overall, and people say like, oh, have a free meal, like Jared will tell you this too. He's told me to have free meals or whatever it is. But whenever he said that, I would just take the numbers and just increase them so I know how it's affecting my body. If I was going into a prep and I wanted to know how 100 grams of rice affects my body, I don't want to have a burger or fries or whatever it is, because yes, at the end of the day, it is still carbs and sodium or whatever, but I want to have stuff that's quantifiable so that when I make those adjustments, I can actually tell how it's affecting my body. So this is my 3rd meal. Probably gonna combine my next few meals. It's like mid-afternoon right now. Eat this, should digest fairly quickly, and then we'll see you guys at the next meal.
What the fuck?
It's gonna be a really boring full day of eating because it's literally all the same foods.
I don't know what you guys want me to say.
I don't know what you want me to say. I eat the same foods every single day. Like, what do you want me to do? Pull donuts out of my ass or something? I'll do it. No cap. Figure we might as well do a grocery haul. It's later on in the day now. 5:04 a.m. is what our clock says. Here we've got some prime beef boneless ribeyes, which is a fattier cut of meat. If you are in your off season, fattier cuts of meat are an easy way to get more calories in. Beef sausage, Polish sausage, this again is like really high fat. So like, this is something that I put with something else that's kind of leaner so that I'm not going way overboard with shoving fat sausages in my, I mean, never mind. More salmon, fattier cut again. Good omega profile. Very tasty, very delicious, super convenient. Both of these are super convenient.
Can you show stats on it?
Yeah, so this salmon's higher fat. It's 5 grams of fat for 11 grams of protein. So it's basically like 1 gram of fat per every 2 grams of protein or so. Yeah. I'll use these like away from my workout, and then when I'm closer to my workout, I'll have something leaner like these, which are bison strip loin steaks, which have even less fat. If you look at the meat cut in itself, within it, there's very little marbling at all. So it's basically just the fat along the cap. So it's a very lean steak. And if you're getting deeper into a cut or something, you can actually just cut the fat cap completely off. That's likely what I would do as well. A little bit fattier, and you can see here, this is the sirloin flap steak. You can see the marbling throughout it. Another vegetable source is zucchini. Again, shape of the vegetable, kind of questionable. Avocados, good source of polyunsaturated fats. Ground beef, this is something that is super easy to do up. This is a fattier, so this is 85-15. Again, keep it away from my workouts. If I am having one that's closer to my workouts, I'll have a 93-7, which is a lot leaner in general. We've got Lundberg rice. This is my primary carb source. You guys saw the sweet potato earlier. It's just when I put carbs back into my diet, these were the 2 things that I found to digest extremely well. White rice just goes straight through my system. I'm already training a decent amount and I'm fairly active throughout the day. So processing and digesting white rice when there's no fiber in it at all pretty much is very easy for me, even over like a brown rice or something like that. You guys will see the meal at the end of the day, but walnuts. This is the only nut that I put in my diet. Technically I can around my workouts throw in like sugary cereals or something that's super fast digesting, but honestly it's just not for me. I've tried putting any sort of sugar into my diet and I just feel absolutely terrible. I get headaches, brain fog, I crash like crazy in the afternoon. So for me, for the time being, I'm just gonna be sticking to like white rice or cleaner sources, just because that's what works for me, and that's kind of what you have to just figure out and play with for yourself. It's an avocado. So this is meal 4 and 5. I had to combine both of them just because it's getting later in the day. And when you're past 3 protein feedings per day, there's really not much additional benefit to splitting them up. You're having enough balance of like time between meals that muscle protein synthesis, which is basically what causes muscle growth or allows for muscle growth, is high throughout the day. So 3 to 4 meals is honestly fine, whatever allows you to get the food in, but some people find it easier when they split up to like 5, even 6 meals, including the shake. 8 ounces of salmon, 3 ounces of avocado, 100 grams of zucchini cooked in a teaspoon and a half of olive oil, which is 7 grams of olive oil, and then 125 grams of white jasmine rice, again cooked in a teaspoon and a half of olive oil. So this is a very high fat meal. Having this like probably like 4 or 5 hours before bed, I find that if I have too much fat before I go to sleep, it affects my digestion, or if I have too much food in general. So I did try to pull this meal back a little bit. It's around 5 o'clock, just after 5 o'clock right now. We're gonna eat this, and then I'll catch you guys at the last meal for the macro breakdown for the day, and we'll all be finding out the calories. Question, is water wet? Good. Last meal of the Can you tell it's been a long day? Last meal of the day, I backloaded a lot of my calories today, which some people like to do, but when I've been bulking, it's been quite difficult to get enough food in general. I figured I'd go over supplements at the same time. I don't take a lot of supplements, and no, none of these are necessary. So before you go out and buy $1,000 worth of Tonkat Ali and then Turkesterone and like whatever else, you don't need any of this. You can just eat whole foods. For me, it makes it easier to get food down eating liquid calories or drinking liquid calories. And having these supplements, I found to have a little bit of a performance benefit. I have them available to me, so why not use them? Tonight we have the beautiful casein pudding that was recommended to me by Dr. Mike Israetel when I stayed at his place, with 45 grams of walnuts, so some healthy fats before I go to bed. Then I'm gonna have 100 grams of carbs, 125 grams of white rice again, and then olive oil. Supplement wise, magnesium, bisglycinate, the only one that crosses the blood-brain barrier. I think L-threonate might as well. You guys can research that for yourself. Helps me sleep tremendously, and I've heard the same from a lot of other people. It's one of those things where if you're deficient in magnesium or any of the electrolytes, it can throw a lot of things out of whack that prevents you from getting into a nice deep sleep that actually recovers you, which is what you want. Obviously, recovery is just as important as the training itself. Casein is a little bit slower digesting. Again, it's minutia than whey protein is, or than any other protein is. So having that before bed will keep your muscle protein synthesis higher throughout the night. 40 grams of casein, 45 grams of walnuts, and then 125 grams of jasmine rice, which seems to be the star of the video.
I just can't. I can't.
What, the olive oil?
Yeah.
And like this consistency, pudding.
What my homemade pudding sees when I come, I open the door.
So this is the last meal, the casein pudding, the walnuts, and the rice. You guys saw kind of what my new daily diet's like. It's been shifting pretty frequently, I would say, like every 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks or so. But we're gonna do a little breakdown. I haven't actually used MyFitnessPal in a while, but I do I actually haven't used MyFitnessPal in a while, but if you are getting into dieting, that is the app to use. I'm not sponsored by them by any means, but I'm gonna put my stuff into here and I'm gonna see what my diet is actually looking like, because I don't know how many calories I'm consuming. I'm only going off of macros per meal. So just a general caloric range based off of the macros that I'm having in each meal. And then each day I'm just continuing to eat pretty similar foods, like I said. So starting with breakfast, which was my peri-workout shake, I drank half of it pre-workout and half of it intra-workout. I had 3.5 scoops of a carb powder, which was cluster dextrin, and that was 25 grams of carbs per scoop, so it was 85 grams of carbs total. I had half of that pre-workout and then half of that intra-workout, mixed with 25 grams of whey protein as well, just to make sure that I did have a little bit of protein before going into training and also supporting right after training. After that, as soon as I got home, I had my lunch, which was my first real meal of the day, which was some actual solid food. And this was the highest carb meal of the day because it was right around my workout. I wanted to make sure that when nutrient partitioning is at its highest, I'm getting the carbohydrates and the nutrients delivered directly to the muscle like I want them to. So I had 185 grams of jasmine rice. I had 4 ounces of skirt steak, and then I had 75 grams of baby bella mushrooms mixed with 100 grams of cucumber as the quote unquote vegetables and fungi, I guess. For my lunch, which was the afternoon meal, I had 375 grams of sweet potato, 60 grams of jasmine rice, 2 ounces of beef liver, 2 ounces of smoked salmon, 100 grams of cucumber, and then I mixed in a teaspoon and a half of olive oil into the rice just so I can get some additional fats. Moving on to kind of my dinner, which was meals 4 and 5, which are the ones that I combined together. I had 8 ounces of smoked salmon, 150 grams of zucchini cooked in a teaspoon and a half of olive oil. I added another teaspoon to 125 grams of jasmine rice. On top of that, I had 3 ounces of avocado, so it was a very fat heavy meal. That was my biggest meal of the day, but please do consider that I was combining 2 meals, so technically that would have been meal 4 and 5, but for the sake of this video, it was only meal 4. And then now we're at the end of the day, I'm about to eat this, scarf this down, and it's going to be 125 grams of jasmine rice, 46 grams of walnuts, 45, whatever, 40 grams of casein in this casein pudding, and then I put another teaspoon and a half of olive oil into the rice. So today is totaling out at 4,173 calories, 588 grams of carbs. Consider that that's also including trace carbs from whatever other foods that I'm having, the walnuts, the protein sources, even some of them have a little bit of carbs, and as well as the vegetables. 200 grams of protein, again, it's probably about 170 without the additional trace protein, and 116 grams of fat. So this is the most amount of food that I've ever eaten, and I'm feeling really good right now. I'm feeling very happy with the progress that's being made. That's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed another full day of eating. If you guys did, please leave a like, drop a comment what videos you guys want to see next. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll catch you in the next one.